this week, to finish off my pirate themed week, because we had a pirate party at my bar and I wanted to have a pirate week, we're going to do something similar to those tea spilling paintings where you dump tea on a paper and then outline the edges, and then this should give us a treasure map. Now, I've already tried dumping water. That didn't work the way that I wanted it to. So I have a little spray bottle. So I'm going to spray water. Just kind of on the paper. I don't know if it got the whole thing wet or not. And then I have saddle brown. And it comes in these nice little droppers. I'm going to just drop. I'm trying to be very careful to not put too much. A couple of spots of paint on here. Okay, so that one's looking really cool. I didn't tape this one down so that I could kind of roll it around and see what happens, which is giving me some really fun shapes. I'm gonna tap it a little. This paper is really light, so it doesn't have the strength to hang on, to hold up, to stand up to be tapped on the paper. So I think this is a good start. So what we're gonna do is take a big round brush, get it wet. This is from a previous painting, so who knows how clean that is, and kind of try to make out the shapes a little bit. It's okay. I just really kind of want to tone down how dark this saddle brown is to give me a little bit more and there's still water on there, so I'm still going to get some of the spirally edges, which I like. So I'm just taking a technique and just kind of making it my own thing. So this is a treasure map. So there's all sorts of like inland coves, shorelines, things that come out deeper into the water. Kind of run that off. I'm going to put the compass rose down there, so we'll put like a little island up in here. And then because it's really dark and none of the other details are going to show up, I'm going to grab a paper towel and I'm going to kind of dab some of this color off. Again, this is just a experiment to kind of see how it'll turn out. Oh, wow. That's quite lovely. So you can dab off as much as you want, as little as you want. So I think what we're going to do is these spots where it's really, really dark, those will be mountains, and these lower lying areas will be beaches. And we're going to let this dry for a little bit so that we can maybe come in and put like the ghost of some water around the edges so you know that you're in the water here. But we're going to put in a compass rose. I'm going to use a pencil so I can erase in case I don't do this right. If you've done any work with maps, you know that their compass rose has a straight line and then a perpendicular line, and then those come down to points. If you want to make sure that's completely even, draw an X here to even out everything. And then we'll just mark the big N for north. Okay, I kind of really like how that looks. I'm going to use a black ink pen to just kind of ink that in now that I've sketched it out. And it's still wet, which is okay because it's going to make it bleed a little, which is going to make it look like an older map. Now, I didn't tape this down, so I can move it around, which is fantastic. Now my table is completely soaked. Now let me dry. And what I love about this saddle brown color is all of these beautiful little reds and stuff that come up in it. I think that's just gorgeous. So we just redo this line and redo this line. And if you're a perfectionist, get a straight edge. I'm not. It looks like what I'm wanting it to look like, so I don't go too crazy. Okay, then connect your dots. You know, I'm calling it dots. It's not really dots, but all right, so now we have our compass and we have our map. Now, if you've seen the tea paintings, they go in with a pen and they just outline the little areas. So we're going to go in and just use the black pen to outline. Because the water or the paint, the spray bottle gave us lots of diffusion, it's got a lot of nice little edges to what we're doing. And look, there's green that showed up in here. I just used brown, but we've got some reds and some greens, which is really, really fun. And don't be too precise on this. Just go in, outline it. And this is a card, so it could be the map to your heart or to seeing each other again. However you guys want to phrase it. It could just be something fun and silly, or it could just be a little treasure map. But this is just kind of something fun, but not super planned out or anything. So you can do whatever you want, and everybody's will look different because the water will move differently on everybody's painting. And I like to use a mix of pens and paint to just play with different things and different ideas. Okay, we've decided this has got just a little bit, there's almost like a little bridge. And I'm going to pretend that that bridge only shows up during low tide to get from this part of the island to the other part. And let's do this little inside in here. And let's outline this little island up in here. Now let's get a little bit of turquoise blue, really watered down. If you've been painting with me, I think you guys realize turquoise blue is one of my favorite colors to paint with. I realize I missed this little spot here. Okay. And we're just gonna hit a little bit to give it that little bit of like water. And if you wanted to tape this off, you could have. Then you'd have like clean edges around. And this doesn't need to be super precise or anything. It's just kind of a reflection of water. And the further back you hold the brush, the looser it'll be, the way you paint. So you'll have less control, which actually gives you more movement and freedom. How fun is this? It's always exciting when my ideas like work, and this is a super fun little thing. I'm going to do the water here. We're going to let that fade out by the compass rose. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. I realize I say okay a lot. I do apologize. I'm working on it. So I've decided that these darker parts are going to be great big mountains. And to do mountains, I'm just gonna do triangles. Kind of in the shape, like before, front and behind. Maybe this one's a lower mountain and it's wider. And then the lights come in this way. So we're gonna just shade them like this. Let's do some lines down the sides of your mountain. And you also can do this with paint if you don't want to use a pen. But I always just have a random black ink pen laying around. Well, here, they're gonna be smaller hills. We just wanna do little rounded shapes. They're gonna get a little spikier right back up in here. And again, just shade it on the sides, just with curved lines. Oh, that's so cute. Sorry, I amuse myself sometimes. This to me looks like a beachy area, so it needs some palm trees. Just do a few little trunks. And then palm fronds are curvy. And then make it look shade on each side. Do this one going down a little bit. They don't have to be perfect. It's just really the impression of palm fronds. And maybe this is a crazy weird island and there's actually like a little bit like sea pine forest over in here. I'll draw a bunch of trunks and then make the sea pine shape. But sea pines, at least the ones that I've gone to in Hilton Head, doesn't go all the way down to the trunk, or all the way down the trunk. Okay, give it another one right here. Okay, we've got some landscape things, maybe some rolling bushes around here, so I'm just going to do swirls. And maybe some more over here. And then this is just going to be dots over part of it. We need some dots over here. Then in the ocean, we want to warn you where to stay away. So this looks like a great place to land, except there are sharks in the water. Or a serpent. Let's make that a serpent. And his tail is going to come up. At one point it was looking like a cat, so I'm not sure. Then the next part is going to be to put in your dotted line and your X marks the spot. So let's say right here is where the treasure is, and to get to it you need to come, you're going to start here because that's the safest place to land, and then you're going to dot 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 over and you can make your path however you want. That's just how I wanted to do that. So now I am going to get a nice bright red. Make sure this is decently dry. This color is Persimmon, so it's a dark reddish orangish. And I'm going to take my smallest brush. I'm going to load my brush up with some color. I'm going to put in my X. And then I'm going to start, this is my starting spot, and I'm going to just dash, dash. It might bleed a little, but that's okay. If treasure maps were too easy to read, everybody would find the treasure. Yeah, my brush has got like one wonky piece. here. And there you have it. A quick little treasure map painting. That we just kind of went through and decided to see what would happen. Thanks for painting with me.